When Marvel announced its plan to reboot the Fantastic Four into the MCU, fans weren't too excited, knowing how bad the previous films did at the box office. But the new trailer has got us all hooked. The fan-made trailer starring John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, and Zac Efron is driving us crazy by imagining what the cast would look like together. In this video, we'll be diving into what we can expect from the new Marvel franchise. First off, the big announcement from Marvel shocked the MCU fans. Marvel Studios has ensured that the excitement for the new movie remains at an all-time high. It was in 2019 that President Kevin Feige announced at San Diego Comic-Con about the reboot. He then confirmed in 2020 that they're indeed filming the series, and revealed that Spider-Man director Jon Watts would be directing the film. It was originally planned to be a part of the final chapters of MCU's Phase 4, but now it's been shifted to Phase 6, now featuring as the opener. And that's not all. What we know so far is that they're planning a trio of movies for its Phase 6, the multiverse saga that will kickstart with Fantastic Four in November of 2024, and followed by Avengers: The Kang Dynasty on May 2nd, 2025. Finally, the saga finished with Avengers: The Secret Wars on November 7th, 2025. Pretty tight schedule, right? But out of all the movie announcements, fans seem to be most excited for the Fantastic Four franchise. After 2 live-action interpretations of the series by 20th Century Fox, the story's finally coming home to the studios we can all trust to do justice to superheroes. There's so much buzz about who will be cast and what Marvel's spin on the series will be, setting the stage for fans to come up with their own fan castings and concept trailers. Speaking of which, this fan-made trailer for the movie blew up for its on-the-spot cast choices. Yes, it's not even an official trailer, but just the thought of Zac Efron, John Krasinski, Vin Diesel, and Emily Blunt being cast as the quartet of heroes has gotten us all hyped. We know these are the most popular fan favorite choices right now. Let's take a moment to spotlight this epic concept trailer by Strider HD, who really shows us what the movie would look like in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. By using footage from actors' previous films and mashing with voicing and shots from the old Fantastic Four movies, it takes us through the origins of the superhero squad. Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, Blunt as the Invisible Woman, Efron as the Human Torch, and Diesel as the Thing. Now, fans are stunned by editing and how well it fits the MCU concept, saying it looks too real. And what about Dr. Doom? The role of MCU's most awaited and perhaps strongest villain has always been hard to fill, especially seeing how the Fox movies couldn't get it right after multiple tries. Fans are crossing their fingers for Michael Fassbender to take on this challenging role, and the trailer just showed us why. But are these actors really part of the real movie? Sadly, the cast isn't confirmed, and it's just fan speculation. Now that the movie's been shifted to Phase 6, it'll be quite some time before we get any confirmed casting announcements from the studios themselves. One thing we can safely bet on is that Krasinski's playing Mr. Fantastic, since he already made a cameo in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness as Earth 838's version of the character. But really, with the MCU growing and spinning wildly in every possible direction, we won't be too surprised if Watts pulls a No Way Home on us and brings a new man for the role. And yet, Krasinski's still a fan favorite for Reed Richards, along with his wife Emily Blunt for Sue Storm for a very long time. Come on, Marvel, give fans their favorite on-screen and off-screen heroic duo. And even Zac Efron's not too far-fetched for Johnny Storm. The star himself said he would jump at the chance of joining the studio's shared universe of superheroes. We've also seen how talented Diesel was as the voice of Groot, so voicing the buff Ben Grimm made from rock seems like a piece of cake. Moving on, the new trailers reminded us what really went wrong with the old movies. New fans out there might not know, but the Fantastic Four in the comic books paved the way for other heroes like the Avengers and the X-Men. From the series, Stan Lee gave us characters we fell in love with: Black Panther, Doctor Doom, The Watcher, and more. So how could a movie with strong comic book mythology, a young director hot off a hit film, a cast of pretty talented actors, and impressive trailers turn out so bad? Well, the casting choices were terrible. Trank wanted a black actress to play Sue Storm, but Fox blocked his decision. Kate Mara, who got the role, was later said it was one of the worst experiences she ever had, given that Trank took out his frustrations on her. Even the Whiplash star Miles Teller couldn't save the film, reportedly clashing a lot with Trank on set. We can all guess how that worked out. Fox ended up cutting $30 million from the film's budget shortly after the production began. It also ended up cutting a lot of scenes Trank had planned, like the fantastic car, Herbie the robot, and much of the concept art in the final version, giving us a poorly written, visually boring, and horribly miscast superhero of all time. So why do fans think this time will be any different? Even after getting their hopes crushed many times with the franchise, fans still have high hopes that the third time's the charm. They hope Watts will take the 2015 version as a warning tale not to repeat its mistakes. That means bringing back the nostalgia and sci-fi adventure element that the comic was known for, which somehow Fox completely missed the mark with their versions. Take notes, Marvel. The trailer just shows fans have high hopes for the film. After all, the studios have been making films based on well-known superheroes for a decade now. If they can get the fans to tune into the TV series on Disney Plus and flock to theaters to watch Spider-Man in a pandemic, surely they can get this movie right for once. Unlike Fox, Marvel's shown it can learn from its successes and failures, and even from other studios. Will we finally get the first family on screen in the way we've dreamt of? Or will this just be another fantastic flop? Fingers crossed. And now, in other news, She-Hulk actress teased potential role in MCU Thunderbolts movie. With the studios announcing Thunderbolts as a team-up movie set to release in July of 2024, fans were excited to see which villains would join the cast, and She-Hulk star Jamila Jamil joined in on the hype. Speaking with Comic Book, she touched on a potential team-up for the upcoming anti-hero movie. When asked who her character Titania would like to annoy, she was too quick to name Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool as her #1 choice, saying she wants to drive him crazy at some point in her superhero tenure. But don't get too excited. Jamil later clarified on her Twitter that it's not a confirmed role, explaining she only wants to do so, not will do it. We've still got 2 years until the movie comes to theaters, and even the story is in early stages under Black Widow writer Eric Pearson and director Jake Schreier. But will Jamil get to join the bad guys on set and annoy Deadpool? Only time will tell. Speaking of She-Hulk, Tatiana spoke out on criticism about her hero's muscles. She-Hulk, attorney at law, is just fresh out in the world, but even with just 1 episode, the teams come under fire for a lot of visual choices. And the #1 problem fans seem to have is the muscles of the female lead, or rather lack thereof. Now, if you've been a fan of the comic book series, we all know Hulk's cousin has always been portrayed with buff muscles in her Hulk version. Fans were excited to see a very muscular woman on screen finally, but reports showed that Marvel avoided giving the She-Hulk muscles that were too big, intending her to look way slimmer than her comic version. Is this an attempt at skinny-washing fat actors? The actress Tatiana disagrees, saying her character's too focused on the perception from the outside in both their bodies. So really fixating on She-Hulk's muscles is taking away from the conversation of body image and feeling confident in their own skin. And not to mention, given that Jen's origin story as a lawyer is different from the comics, giving her buff muscles would be impractical for her to blend in at her law firm. And finally, Marvel just confirmed that Pixar is also part of the MCU. The first episode of She-Hulk premiered on Disney+, and the opening introduced Jennifer Walters and her journey to be a giant green lawyer. But fans can't get enough of another Easter egg the show dropped on us. Within her training, Jen's seen watching the 2015 tearjerker Inside Out to understand her mood swings. This means the future Avengers She-Hulk's not only a Pixar fan, but that Pixar's too a part of the MCU. What's next? Will MCU superheroes now read comics about themselves? Be sure to keep a lookout for future Star Trek or Harry Potter references. And that's a wrap for this video. Who would you like to see play the Fantastic Four in the MCU? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one!